Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We have some brand new breaking news on a Palantir partnership, so we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get right into it. This one is Palantir Technologies and Hyundai Heavy Industries now grow partnership to a $45 million expansion into shipbuilding. So I did a video on this a while ago that I'll link in the description, and this was Palantir's deal in January of 2022, which was a $25 million deal where they partnered with HHI, Hyundai Heavy Industries. And the goal here was to change the way that we have operating systems for shipyard manufacturing. So reading a bit from the press release, Korea Shipbuilding and Offshore Engineering, KSOE, will utilize the Palantir Foundry operating system across its shipbuilding subsidiaries. In order to advance the future of shipyard vision. Teams across the shipbuilding subsidiaries will use Foundry to make a better data-driven decision focused especially on safety and operational efficiency. During the successful pilot phase, so I'm assuming this was January until August of this year, shipbuilding teams use Foundry to improve architectural design of ships, ensure quality on production lines, and bring the power of big data analysis to standard safety procedures. Basically, what Palantir did in the automotive industry in the United States with Chrysler and basically changing the operational efficiency and logistics and supply chains infrastructure of a lot of automotive plants is what they are trying to do in the shipyard manufacturing world. Now, the shipyard manufacturing is not as mainstream, right? It's not as big as automotive manufacturing or airplane manufacturing to the average person, but it's still a gigantic business. And the most ships that are made and decomposed of, which is another business all in and of itself, is in South Korea. They have the largest shipyard manufacturing industry on the planet. This was a $25 million deal originally. Now it got extended $20 million, so it's a $45 million over 5 years, and it deepens Palantir's relationship with HHI, and it helps the digital transformation of South Korea's storied ship builders. So that's $9 million a year for Palantir. Now, some may argue, oh, $9 million a year, that's nothing, right? That's like barely dropping the bucket. It's not about the actual money. It's about the platform, and I'll talk about that more in a second, but building out that infrastructure in the platform, if you have a long-term horizon on Palantir, their ability to do that in a lot of other places is what really makes this type of a deal exciting. So CDO of HHI Group says, we will change the way we work by working with Palantir Technologies. We aim to enhance the competitiveness of our group by setting up an environment where we can make database decisions. And Karp, CEO, says, Hyundai Heavy is an industry leader working at the leading edge of some of the most complex engineering challenges that we collectively face. We could not be more enthusiastic about expanding our partnership, and we are actively working to extend our access to software across Hyundai Heavy's operations, as well as the country's commercial and governmental sectors. Now, they also said in CES in Las Vegas, the two companies signed an agreement to establish a big data platform to use across the group and in Hyundai Heavy's core markets in both the public and private sectors. So essentially, this is a significant step towards the formation of the joint venture that they have created. It's a $45 million deal, and it will be over 5 years. It'll be a deal that's valued at over the next 5 years. Now, a couple points of analysis that I think is interesting about this. It shows Palantir's ability to be able to extend a partnership that they started 8 months ago. So in January, when this news broke, it was a very interesting piece of news because to me, it validated the belief in why I invested in Palantir, which is why I think they can have many different operations in vertical sectors. So if they're working in healthcare, if they're working in energy, if they're working in oil, if they're working in shipping and logistics, like there's just so many different platforms. And I have another video coming out today where Alex Karp basically says exactly what I'm saying right here, where their TAM is virtually infinite, right? Because if they are the operating system to make all of those companies and industries and governments more efficient, effective, save money, time, energy, etc., then they have a very, very big market to go after. And as a result of having a big market to go after, you have to have these strategic partnerships, because in the tactical, like that's the Lord, like the clouds, the vision of, okay, their TAM is unlimited, they can go after every market. The tactical approach to actually being able to facilitate that is having these types of business development relationships with very, very big market leaders in industries. I mean, most people don't even know what HHI is, but in South Korea, they're one of the leading industries. They do all the shipyard manufacturing for a lot of different companies in the world. And shipyard manufacturing is important for two reasons. It's not just because of people going on cruises. It's because a lot of things that we export and import in our society is done through ships. It's not even done on planes as much as it's done on ships. Like this mouse that I bought from Amazon probably was shipped on a ship and it came to the United States from China. So it is a very big industry, and there are tons of operational inefficiencies that exist within that industry, just like it exists in the supply chain world when it comes to cars or any supply chains for any industry. And Palantir wants to tackle that. So $45 million over 5 years is really nothing to be excited about. What is exciting is if they are in every single contractor, subcontractor, subsidiary, big manufacturer of ships, small manufacturer of ships, junkyard for ships, because decomposing a ship is a whole different challenge in and of itself. And they are the premier software that is being used by all of these different industries and all these different groups of people. And their name is the name that's associated with an operational, efficient task when you're trying to deal with shipyard manufacturing and big data. Then they're going to become a market leader there. And not only they're going to become a market leader, it is going to become another case study for what's the next industry they can attack. How else can they expand? South Korea is a very big market. There's a lot of other places you can go into. I don't know if Palantir is in the automotive place in South Korea. It's probably some other big data analysis tool that a lot of these companies are using because they're using some big data analysis. Why can't it be Palantir? Well, Palantir needs to have brand reputation in South Korea. They can't just walk in there and so there's a lot of different moving parts to these types of partnerships that get me excited. And what I'm looking for as a long-term investor, and I'm looking at where I would be buying the stock right now if I'm buying it, is does this price does the partnerships that I'm seeing them complete justify a stock price that I think is relatively undervalued? And that's a decision you have to make for your own. You have to look at financials, things like that. But for me, I would say, okay, a $15 billion company launching these major partnerships, that's good to me. And obviously everything is still a risk, but if they can keep expanding those partnerships, which I feel they think they are very confident they are able to do, then they are going to be in a lot of different industries. It's an execution risk on sales, and I know that's what we've been giving them a lot of flack for over the past couple months, but if they are able to figure it out, there's a reason Snowflake's not getting that deal, right? There's a reason Databricks is not getting that deal. There's a reason Palantir is getting that deal. There's something unique and specific about Palantir, whether it's how they've been able to do business development or specifically their technology that enables that industry to actually be able to be optimized. And I think it's a mix of both, but more the latter than the former. That gives Palantir a unique competitive advantage, and that's really cool. So super, super awesome news for Palantir. This was one of those partnerships I've been waiting to hear back on because I remember this happened in January. I made a video on it, was super excited, and we hadn't heard anything for months, really, since it's September now, right? So it's been almost 9 months. We have not heard a piece of news about this. It's nice to know that what they did in the pilot phase and the things that the teams were able to use the software to be able to do meant that those teams went to the decision makers and said, hey, we're going to use this. And so we should probably buy it. And the decision makers said, okay, if you find value in it, we're going to buy it. We're going to extend it. And now it's an actual full-fledged joint partnership that could lead to more opportunities in the future. So awesome stuff. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for listening, watching. I'll see you in the next one.